Welcome to world premiere Word on the Streets, where truth isn't just talked about, it's lived. Tonight's topic is creating a life that fits your truth. This isn't about chasing trends or living by someone else's blueprint. It's about alignment. It's about courage. It's about finally choosing a life that feels like yours. Not borrowed, not filtered, but real. So get settled in, ladies and gentlemen, and get ready to peel back the layers. Cultural, emotional, spiritual, so you can live a life that truly fits you. Let's get into it. Tonight's episode is brought to you by My Destiny Journal. This 130-page, 8 by 11-inch journal is not just another blank notebook. It's a sacred 15-week guided journey through poetic self-reflection, daily affirmations, and deep personal growth. Perfect for those seeking emotional healing, spiritual alignment, or simply a quiet place to rediscover your voice. And now, welcome to the show. Greetings, and welcome to the world premiere Word on the Streets. We're live every Thursday at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Don't miss out. After a week full of noise, confusion, and constant distractions, this is the show that cuts through the clutter. It's the hour of the week, where real talk meets real truth. We bring conversations that challenge the status quo and stir something deeper in the soul. This isn't just commentary, it's clarity, purpose, and elevation. When you tune in, you're not just watching, you're waking up. A place where common sense still matters and lives. So ladies and gentlemen, make no mistake, this is the world premiere Word on the Streets. And now, ladies and gentlemen, this is the moment you've all been waiting for. And now, ladies and gentlemen, your hearts and hands together for the man who discovered his purpose and lives it loud, Larry Extraordinaire Moten. And the motivator born to ignite minds and shift atmospheres, the amazing Keith Fletcher. And the man who brings clarity to the chaos with the voice of reason you can't ignore, the one and only Mr. Vincent Craig. Make no mistake, there is no word without our host. Welcome to the movement, welcome to the message, welcome to the world premiere, Word on the Street.
And good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening. Good evening and welcome everybody. We're so excited to be back with you all, friends. We get to do this once a week, one day a week. And I'm going to tell you, when Thursday come around, we're so ready and we're so excited to be back on with you all. Friends, as you all know, this would be absolutely no show whatsoever without the amazing Keith Fletcher and the man with the golden silk voice bringing reasons to chaos. Ladies and gentlemen, put your love and arms and hands together for the amazing Keith Fletcher and Mr. Vincent Craig. Good evening, brothers.
Good evening, brothers, and don't shortchange yourself.
Oh man, get out of here!
Don't shortchange yourself.
Get out of here, man. It's good to see y'all faces, man.
Likewise.
How y'all been doing, man? Let's talk. Let's talk how you been doing. What's up, Fletcher?
Man, I'm just getting over a cold, man. Just getting over a cold. I'm doing my thing, trying to fight this cold. Today, this is the best day I've had in the last 3 or 4 days. So I'm just getting over the cold.
Look, brothers, look, Word on the Street family, I'm not going to lie to you all. When it come around to this day, Thursday, I mean, I can do every freaking thing else, everything else. But when it come to Thursday for me, it's like Sunday. You all know how Sunday feel like no other day in the week. And Thursday have a unique feel about it as well, because we get an opportunity to reunite with you all, our audience and friends. We want you to know how much we love and value y'all. Come on, open love to you all. And right before we started the show, I was having a little talk with Vincent, man, and I'm gonna tell you, this brother is deep. Is deep. Now, we say the man with the golden voice, but this brother is really deep. So he was telling me how he prepare himself one day a week or so. I didn't get all the tea leaves. So if he don't mind, I like for him to kind of explain to us all what is his regimen in getting his body, his mind, and everything in touch and in tune for things he like to do in life.
Gotcha. No, I appreciate that. For me, Larry, or extraordinary, I think it started, and I can't really pinpoint the date as far as when it started, but I've been doing this for about at least 5 years, maybe longer. I choose one day of the week, and that day of the week for me has been a Thursday. And the Thursday is when I do like a liquid fast. I do a protein shake, and I do teas, or I do what do you call it, natural juices from things that I juice, as far as watermelons, mangoes, cucumbers, apples, oranges. And I do this for it's twofold, for spiritual reasons, because there are certain things that I want, and then I'm also praying and wanting things for other people, right? So I'm giving up, sacrificing something so I can give that. And on the other side of it, uh, we as African Americans, we suffer from so much, from heart disease and high blood pressure, things of that nature. It's for health reasons as well. For me, I like to give my body a break from digesting so much junk and food that we eat. And it helps to prolong your life, studies have shown, right? So it is a twofold, spiritual reasons and for health reasons. And for that, some days I'll try to do uh, like sun up to sundown, like I had told you, Larry. Sun up to sundown. I stopped at about 6:30 or 7 and had some lunch or had some dinner. I was going to try to push through and go all night just into the next morning, but I just decided to just stop and eat because I had a little workout after I left Keith's house earlier today and was giving him a hard time about some things about the contest that we have actually going on. So uh, just kind of it just kind of lit a fire up under me. So it's just certain things that I do that kind of help me out.
Isn't that right in line with what we're talking about tonight, too, friends? Creating a life that fits you. I mean, that is so smack down the middle. And this brother, you all hear the type of regimen he put himself on. It's not something that someone told him, man, this is what you need. I mean, he put himself on that. And so this is why when we come on once a week, the things that we talk about are things that we are actually living. Now, listening to him, friends, I gotta say that, brother Vincent, you just put me on something. I mean, I've been, I I constantly fill up my cup on intellectual items, filling my brains, gaining information, gaining knowledge, and doing some walk as exercise and set up push up things of that sort. But this other dimension you just said about this fasting thing, I'm not on that at all. So I'm gonna explore some of that just from hearing what you just shared, and that's what this thing is all about.
Good.
Don't you agree, Fletcher?
Yeah, I agree with some of the things he said. I agree. Yeah, some of the
Hey, trust me, right now he's not gonna give me any credit. He
I
ain't gonna
agree.
give me
I agree. I agree with some of the things he said. Can I clarify?
Y'all got a little Fletcher. Wait
Can,
on.
can I clarify what I agree, what I disagree with? He did not come over here and give me no hard time. I ain't nothing you can give me. You know what I'm saying? So
We talking about the fasting element. We ain't
let
even
me
talking
finish
about
that.
the
I
giving
can
you the
explain
hard
what I'm
time.
saying. The fasting, he can do all those little trick things like that's good for some people. You know what I'm saying? But for me, you know what I'm saying? I hard work, baby, hard work, and putting it down, doing what it takes. But that I like the juicing. You know what I'm saying? And taking out 1 week that works, man. Somebody needs to have that. They starter, starter kit. It'd be nice for that. But I just doing things different, you know what I'm saying? But he been doing that regimen, you know, he look good. He been doing that regimen, it works for him, you know what I'm saying? But the juicing and clearing your body out, you know, I never got into that. I said I was gonna try that detox and start doing that, but I never really got into that thing. So I might have to try that juicing since I'm on this challenge with someone. I got to clear some stuff out. I might need to try that.
So
So
while you
now
at
you're
it,
gonna so now you're gonna try my secret so you can help out, right? That's what you didn't want to add. You didn't want to admit to that. That's okay.
No, I said I was trying to compliment you so you can help the audience. I said I might try that out. You know what I'm saying? I was trying to give you a compliment on the side, but
Right.
I don't need nothing to
so,
do that. But I'm saying, but
so
that juicing, you said the cucumbers, I eat that doing that. I do all that in my salad. I eat a fruit bowl and stuff like that. Me, I don't. I eat straight. I don't do it in the juice. I just eat mine straight, set up like that. But you know, I got a lot of time on here. Some people don't have time, so they make the juicer. That's the only thing different, man. You just people that don't have time, they go and squeeze it up in the juicer. But I put mine in the refrigerator and cut it all up. Well, my wife does that for me. You know, I'm kind of spoiled. She cut mine up, and and then I eat a salad every day about 1 o'clock with all kind of stuff in there. So I didn't want to just, you know,
let me see it.
I'm
Hey,
trying.
hey, hey, Fletcher. So, but while you at it, don't lean back. I got something for you. I want to
Yeah,
ask
yeah,
you.
yeah, yeah.
So what do you do in creating a life that fits you?
I'm extreme with mine. Like I said, I get up at 3:45 in the morning. I just started this. It's been going 2 weeks. I get on my little treadmill, and I get on for 30 minutes a day, Monday through Saturday. I from 4:30 to 5. Then I go to the gym, work out at the gym, come from the gym, uh, get home, get me some protein and a banana and a peanut butter. Have a peanut butter sandwich. I eat that, take my vitamins, take a shower, take my vitamins and all that, and you know, give me a little rest. Then about 1 o'clock, I eat me a salad. You know, my salad is $4, cucumbers, all kind of stuff, lettuce, tomato, egg, chicken, a salad. Then that I think I said that it might take me a nap, might go walking. I don't know, but I do a little thing. Mine's is fitness right now. You know what I'm saying? Do some calls, talk to some people, coach people, counsel people. Then you know what I'm saying. Then I might have me a little workout. Even the workout depends on how I'm feeling, and I start the whole process over again, man. Monday through Saturday. You know, take Sunday out. You know, so that's it. Mike, I go to the track about 3 days a week now. So different things for me, straight man. I'm extreme. Like I get on my treadmill, I get on there with a weight vest, 12-pound weight vest with my little weight trainer, incline 5.0 speed. You know what I'm saying? But that's me. You know, I'm a little extreme with that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And here's the thing too. I don't know if anybody know this, but Fletcher is on TikTok, and he also makes some YouTube shorts. And I've watched you do your treadmill walking, and I'm gonna tell you right now, yeah, you are extreme because I'm not gonna walk like you walk on a treadmill, partner, but I will walk. So this what this thing is all about. You have to really people have to start where they are.
Yeah.
Fletcher been working out for a long time. So when y'all see him walking like 100 miles an hour, he didn't just start doing that the moment you watched him. He's been building up to this point. Am I right about that?
Yeah, I built up. That's why I don't know if Vince. That's why he said he came over because he saw that video and he was real blown away. So he had to come really see me, put his hands on me. That's why he really came by because he seen the stream of that video.
Go ahead on, Vincent. Go ahead
What
on.
he's not telling
Jordan,
you.
hey Jordan,
What
hold
he's
on, Jordan. When he came over, I put a hoodie on. I said, "You can't see nothing right now." I put a whole hoodie. I said, "I don't even want to show. Don't come here trying to see what's going on."
Go ahead on, Vincent.
what he's not telling you is, see, there's three sides to the story: his side, my side, and the truth.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, yeah.
The truth.
Yeah. So we're about to hear the truth.
And nothing but the truth coming from the word of the street.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I did accidentally pop on the link on his little Facebook page, and I saw him walking. I saw him speed walking on his treadmill.
Okay. So
I
get a check in that
did
box.
this, right? So he has to do what works for him, right? So it's like I just came because I was in the area. I was in the neighborhood. It wasn't to spy on him. It was just to check up on my boy. And see. But he wants to add a twist and a layer and say, well, I was spying on him. And then he even went so far as to say, tell your son, don't be coming over here. He can't come over here trying to tell you how I'm doing as far as the competition. See, this is a serious competition here. Extraordinary. We are Christian men, right? But we have a little wager, right?
That's right.
And so we're doing like the little
That's a
Warren
healthy
Buffett style.
wager, though. I like that. That's a
Yeah.
healthy wager.
Yeah, so we're doing a healthy Warren Buffett style wager with like stocks. So we're trying to get to the next level. So we're using stocks to just kind of get us there, right? So again, I'm proud of what he's doing. He's lighting the fire under me, and I'm lighting the fire under him.
Yep.
Our kids do the same thing, right? Both our sons, like the apple didn't fall far from the tree. They compete just like we compete, going at it with each other. And it's like, look, you got to do whatever it takes, right? Sometimes you do need that other person to just kind of give you that camaraderie, right? There's certain elements that like you need that adrenaline high, right, to like kind of get you there, right? And so this is one of those areas to where when it comes to that, me and Keith kind of go on these other different levels. He knows his body, I know my body, and at the end of it, we'll see what happens.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful, brothers.
And that's the part of the show, creating the life you want. You know what I'm saying? If you stressed all the time, you working all the time, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, that's that time you should have 2 hours to yourself to find yourself to do those things. It's a part of creating the life you want. So, we were too busy or we were stressed out, we wouldn't make it do this. It wouldn't be no fun because we know, like you said, we're gonna go to the end to try to compete with it. That's our life. And again, like we said, our kids, they see, they hear, they touch. They watching us, they touching us, they hear. And so it can't do nothing but go on to them. It's contagious. You know what I'm saying? Just like being on that treadmill, on TikTok and all that, it become contagious. Because, you know what I'm saying? Even the haters want to come to see. Let me see if he going to do this. You know what I'm saying? But it get contagious. So that's why creating that life you want right there.
And that's what this show is all about. I see Mark just pulled up. Got to see what this brother's always on something. Good evening, my brother. Welcome to World Premiere One on the Street. So glad to see you pulled up and can be here with us this evening, Mark. Thank you for joining in, my brother. And we're talking about creating a life that fits you. So if you are just tuning in, just driving up, just pulling up for the first time on this platform, go on and hit that subscribe button while you're here and click like and make some comments when you go to YouTube and watch some of our previous shows. It would help the algorithm so much. It'll help more people know about the topics that we're talking about, that we talk about, and the topics we will be talking about, friends. We want to grow because we believe that we are bringing valuable, good common sense conversation on the forefront. And tonight we're talking about creating a life that fits you. Now, it's important that we mix up the food that we cook in the kitchen. Last Thursday we talked about fear, we've talked about procrastination, and we talked about relationship, toxic relationship. Tonight we're talking about things that fits you. And part of this conversation, as you heard Vincent and Fletcher, they talk about this friendly, competitive thing about what? Being healthy. I mean, what can you do with that, friends? They talking about living a clean, healthy life. How can I improve live a more healthy lifestyle so I can be around longer and so I can teach my son, my daughter, my neighborhood how to take care of yourself? Because the truth is, we all got one body. We got one body.
That's it.
Now, I got to confess to everybody out there listening in, I don't go at it like my brothers. I'm listening to them, and brothers, I'm behind the 8 ball. I'm gonna have to really pick it up from Keith. Know how I do it. I do my little walk in the neighborhood, Vincent, and I get a chance to sit outside, hear the birds, and everything. Have my nice, fresh, hot cup of coffee, and sometimes my iced coffee, and
Hmm.
that's it. I'm listening to stuff that will build my mind up. So
Edify.
edifying myself. That's right. So what I do, friends, maybe this may resonate with you all. I surround myself with people like Jim Rohn, Warren Buffett, John Hope Bryan, Mel Robbins, Wayne Dyer, Napoleon Hill, Eric Thomas, and so on. I mean, I'm filling up on this stuff all day, every day. And I'm enjoying nature outside, and I'm walking, doing back and forth blocks. I mean, I put in a lot of blocks, but when you're filling up yourself, you really I don't even focus on how many blocks I'm walking because I'm listening and learning. Can any of you all identify with that, brothers?
Yes,
I
sir.
can, and I think it's good that I like how like you're active extraordinary. Like you're not just settlement and just sitting in one place and just allowing yourself just to. Because a lot of people, like the hardest part is starting and showing up. Right, you've already shown up and you've already started. Right, so it's like now you just have to take it. It may be a walk around the block. It may be 2 blocks the next time. It may be 3 blocks the next time. But I think another important aspect of that too is we use the word intellectual, right? And mind, like we have to exercise our mind too. It's not just our bodies. We have to make sure from a standpoint of mental and emotional that we are in a good place, right? Like all jokes aside, right? Like me and Keith, we will go at it about competition, left and right, saying who's better, who can do this, who can do that. But at the end of the day, I'm still worried about, and I'm concerned, and I'm always going to be concerned about how his mental is, right? How are you? Like when you hang around people long enough, you know if someone's going through something,
Yeah.
right? So I think from that aspect, we also have to look at okay, how is this individual from a mental standpoint and a mind standpoint? Is he doing things to exercise his mind and his spirit? Right. Some people are in touch with nature. Some people are in touch with earth. Me, I like going out in my backyard barefooted with the dew and the moist because I feel like I have a connection with the earth, right? And I'm sitting
That's
there and
right.
I'm like walking on the natural elements because again, when you study stuff, you take your brain to the next hemisphere, you see that there's some natural healing elements when you walk outside barefooted in the nature, right?
Right.
And what do I have to lose? Nothing, right? Unless I mean, I've cleaned up the dog area, so there's no poop out there, right? So for me, it's just I'm trying something different, right? And I'm looking up here when I'm hearing Mark, right? Mark is going through something because one of his wife's sisters passed away, right?
Yes, I'm
So
glad you mentioned that.
yeah,
Thank you. Thank
so
you.
when we're trying to create a life that fits, what do we do when life interrupts that in certain instances, like what Mark's and his wife are going through? Because it doesn't just impact him or his wife, it impacts him, right? So he has to come here or he has to be surrounded by people to get some edifying words to help strengthen him so that he could be there to support his wife. This is how you start to create the life that fits the true you, for me, in my suggestion.
I like that. I like that, man. Fletcher, won't you come on back in here, man? And let's everybody, just for a brief moment, let's give a moment of silence to Mark and his family, please. All right. Go ahead on, Fletcher.
Now you talking about Mark. That's what happens when life, when you create that life and other things happen. You know what I'm saying? That's huge right there. Like what Mark going through, everything going good and that is thrown in your way. You know what I'm saying? And I talk about that with my kids. I tell them all the time, like, things good, but you might wake up tomorrow and me and your mom gone. Your mom gone. You know what I'm saying? You still got to be pushing forward to live that life you want. You got to demand it even more. You know what I'm saying? You got to push towards it even more because they're gone, but you still here. The Most High kept you here for a reason. That's why I start my store off in the morning at 4:30. I say, if you here right now, he woke you up. Somebody didn't wake up this morning. And we owe everything to him to be better than we was yesterday, do more than we did yesterday, so we can have more. You honor the people that's gone by doing that. You know what I'm saying? So we got to move forward. We got to go into that to create that life. So every time I tell my kids, say, when you want to do something, like everything just falls apart, everything that get in your way. To me, it's like life. Do you really want what you said you're going to do? You know what I'm saying? Do you really want to seize that day or seize that forward? So, man, Mark, keep going forward. How to please them, and they would love to see you going forward and moving past that, man, and keeping getting your blessings every day, because that's the blessing. Because the Most High blew something inside of you, a seed inside of you, and that's the blessing for you to keep moving forward and recognize them, man. Me and my extraordinary, I talk about my grandfather and grandmother, and I tell my kids, to this day, I still go over something they told me and it hit me. And they've been past for years. And I would go over something like, man, it's still relevant today. So that's how we keep them up. That's how we celebrate them. But still, creating the life you want, man. Things going to get in your way. Things going to happen. But I say we got to move forward. We got to overcome those things and keep moving forward.
Yeah. Yeah. Like what Keith said, you have to address those things, right? Because certain things happen that are out of our hands, right? And you
Yeah.
have to, there's nothing wrong with, people feeling how they feel. There's nothing wrong with people mourning and things of that nature, right? It's just, be supportive, understand that, things have to be addressed, things have to be discussed and dealt with, and then crawl your way back into getting back to your natural self, right?
And friends, this is why we love doing what we do every Thursday at 7:30 Central Standard Time, right here, because we are in alignment with our soul, with ourself. And when you are in alignment, you don't have to rehearse your emotions or your feelings. We all recognize brother in the chat room express what he's dealing with, and immediately, right on point, we all put energy, send love towards him and his family. And when you're in alignment, this is all part of this thing about creating a life. Create this life. How you do that? You got to get in alignment with yourself. That's why you all heard me say moments ago, I don't know how much I'm walking. I'm listening and I'm enjoying myself. Since you used the word edifying, I'm learning information. I'm listening to people that physically I probably wouldn't have an opportunity to be around, but I can get reach out and touch them and listen to them at will. And the stuff they saying is helping me to understand myself better. Helping me to understand how to communicate and empathize with other people better. It's helping me become a better person inside. And when you become a better person inside, it will manifest itself outside. And meanwhile, I'm giving my body a workout at the same time. You see how all of that work together, friends? Why? Because when you're in alignment with yourself. And so that's what we're talking about this evening, friends. Before we go to our break, brothers, y'all want to add to that?
Yeah, I was writing while you were talking extraordinary, and I was like, I understand that. And I was talking to someone the other day when we're trying to create a life that fits your truth. I think a lot of us looked at equally yoked, right? I know for me, equally yoked used to mean when it came to like a mate, right? Like you got to be equally yoked with someone in order for progress to get, you can't have someone that you're doing life with that's going the opposite direction. For me, equally yoked, I've changed that now to my friendships have to be equally yoked. Anybody I do business with, I have to be equally yoked. So when I'm equally yoked with an individual, that helps me to further create a life that I want because I'm putting up and I'm setting up myself for the position of, fruitful relationships, fruitful conversation, not tearing me down, not negative, right? We get to choose who we want to be in a part of our life, right? We can't choose our parents, right? We can't choose our relatives, right? But when we get a certain age, individuals start to understand who they need to be around to help build them up or to help learn something, or who they need to prune out of their lives or prune away from and step back from in order for them to get to a certain place that they want to go, right? So this is why I say equally yoked in friendships, business. I can't do business with someone that I'm not equally yoked with. If I can't trust a person, that's not equally yoked. Like, you have to have trust in order for things to go right. I've also understood when I'm trying to create the life that fits me, I have to understand where I'm at and where where the other people are at. I saw a guy that I hadn't seen in 40 years since we were in middle school. We went out and had lunch last week. We had some edifying conversation, but I also understand that he has two kids that are 10 years old and 8 years old. He's at a different place in his life, even though he's married, right? But he won't be as accessible as I am because I'm an empty nester, right? So we have to understand where people are when we're trying to create our lives and build it with other people. We have to meet them where they are, right? I like what you said about alignment extraordinary, because one thing about an alignment, when you're in a car and the alignment is off, a couple of things is going to happen. It's going to swerve to the left. It's going to swerve to the right, or it may break and bounce whenever it needs to get some adjustments. Right? Our body tells us the same thing if we are aware of our bodies and our mind and our mental and where we're at. Our body sends us signals when we're not in the right alignment. Right? A lot of people use the stars and the quasars and the moons and the planets to get alignment in certain areas, and other people use spiritual things to get an alignment, right? But it's like whatever works, right? When me and Keith were talking earlier, right? He was talking about the juicing and him and doing this and that. He was like, oh, well, what works for you. And, but it's some truth to that, right? Certain things work for other people that may not work for anybody else, right? So you just have to be mindful of where you're at and where you're not at. So, Fletcher,
I'm gonna be the devil advocate on this.
why you ain't gonna be God's advocate?
Now I'm gonna be the devil. It really ain't no devil. I'm just gonna say that name. But anyway, I'm saying it's all good, but I'm that person, because we older. I'm that 57-year-old Keith talking, but that 20-something, 30-something-year-old Keith would have said, man, I don't want to hear that. I don't know what no alignment is. What is alignment? How do I find that alignment? How do I create that life? I done tried everything. I done tried to talk to my wife. I'm trying to build a relationship with them kids. I did people at their job get on there. So how do I create when I really don't know what life I want? You know what I'm saying? I think because I'm looking to my left, Charles over there look like that. That's something look like I like. He looking to the right. Jimmy over there, he looking good. So how do I find that life that I want, creating that life that I want? You know what I'm saying? Understanding what these words alignment mean and things like that. I want to answer after the break, but like I said, I know all these words, they sound good to us because we've been through something. We've been through life. We done figured some things out. Because I've been talking on Facebook for some years, and I talk to people, and they still they stuck in the same place. They stuck with the same finance. They stuck with the same problem that they stuck. And I'm telling them like, hey, this, you can do this or that, and they're not saying it. You know what I'm saying? So how do we get them to believe? Because I really believe they don't believe, in my opinion, that they can have that they can have that life. And another part is that they ain't believe, and they ain't wrote it down and even try to look how that really look. So that's the question I pose to both of y'all, because I try to understand it, and I try to be a servant of the Most High to understand that, and I'm frustrated because when I tell people that, I don't think they really know what that word abundance is, because it's abundance, it's a peace, you know what I'm saying? So that's what I be trying to get over to them, telling them that. And like today we were talking about, when you came to me talking about the stock market, something simple as that. You came to me, and you came to me with the right answer. What did I tell you?
What did you tell me?
Yeah, what did I say when you came to me?
Well, you were doing the real estate. You said your focus was on the real estate and that you didn't know anything about the stock market.
But see, that's what I'm saying. But it was open. I could have done both. You see what I'm saying? But that was an opportunity right there for me that I missed. You know, so these things that we said, are you prepared for the opportunity? That was the point I'm saying. Do you believe? Have you written out what you really want? Do you really know what you want? And if that's true, are you prepared for those opportunities? And how do that look with you? You know, so not to the left or to the right, but that's what me on what we talking about, creating that life. You know, I said I know for y'all now we old, it looks simple, but back then, man, when you going through a divorce, you going through marriage problem, you got the kids and all these things that's going through. It's hard to try to, you know, figure those things out. So that's why I'm trying to get a concept from somebody that's been through that, that's going through that don't see no out. You know what I'm saying? That came from a family, don't, you know what I'm saying? That no, again, I really believe influence and matter. They don't have no influence around them. You know what I'm saying? They haven't found the Jim Rohn. They haven't found all these guys extraordinary I'm talking about. So how do we, you know what I'm saying? How do that come? Because I was that guy. I didn't know who Jim Rohn was. I didn't know that when I found him, yes. But before that, man, it was a tough time. But that's what I want to say.
And that is an excellent point employed for us to take a small break. Friends, don't go anywhere, because if you want to hear part two and find out how do we get ourselves in an alignment, how do we actually find something that fits us? What is all this Vincent and Fletcher and extra? What are they talking about? Can it work for me?
Yeah.
Friends, if you want to find all of that out, don't go anywhere. You at the right place.
All right, family. Now it's time to go deeper. This is the moment where we peel back the layers, challenge old thinking, and get real about what's truly holding us back and what can finally push us forward. So grab your journals, lean in, and don't just listen, engage. And if something resonates with you tonight, do us a favor. Subscribe, like, and share this message with someone who needs it, because the conversation we're having is bigger than us. This is the world premiere Word on the Streets.
There was a time in my life when I couldn't tell the difference between a Tuesday and a Sunday. The days blended into each other, and the hours slipped away like water through my hands. I'd wake up tired, drag myself through the motions, and fall asleep with regret. Not because I didn't have dreams, but because I was renting my hours to everything except my purpose. You ever feel that? You ever sit in silence and wonder, where did my time go? Not just the day, but your life. We spend so much time waiting for the right moment, the right person, the right sign from the universe. But life isn't waiting for us. It's moving. And the tragedy isn't in dying. The tragedy is in never living. So let me ask you something bold and raw. If your hours had a voice, what would they say about how you've used them? Who are you when it's just you and the clock ticking? Who are you when your mind whispers, take a break, but your heart screams, this matters? Who are you when the world is quiet, but your purpose is loud? That's what defines you. That's what you build your name on. Not applause, not big moments, but private battles, daily choices, the minutes you refuse to waste even when you could have, the hours you poured into your dream when no one even knew you had one. You've got to stop waiting for the ideal moment. It doesn't exist. There will always be noise, always be distractions, always be something else to do. But here's the harsh truth. Those things will still be there, but this moment won't. This second is already gone. And if you don't start owning your time, you'll wake up one day and realize your life was made of excuses instead of execution. This isn't about hustle culture. This isn't about burning out. This is about being aware that your time is not unlimited, that later is not a guarantee, that every hour you let slide by without intention is a brick removed from the foundation of your future. You've got one life, one shot, one window to rise, and it's not shaped by decades. It's shaped by decisions. You want to change your life? Start with this hour. You want to be great? Decide that this is the moment you stop delaying greatness. You want peace? Be intentional with this moment, not just some far off version of it, because your life is not what happens in the highlight reels. It's what happens in the in between, in the hours most people waste, in the silence, in the decision to stand up, stay focused, and show up again. So here it is, a truth that most people run from. You don't get more time, you just get this. And this is enough. If you use it, you have everything you need right now. The only thing left is your choice. Choose wisely. Choose now. Because this second just became the past.
All right, friends, let's continue this informative, powerful show with our hosts, Extra, Fletcher, and Vincent.
Hey, Foreman, let me speak on that. All right.
Go right ahead.
I was just saying about when Vince came to me and talked to me about stocks. You see what he was saying about time. That was some years ago. It's a thing called compound cycle, compound interest. That time that I wasted by not listening to him, taking it. See, that was my opportunity right there. That was my opportunity right there to change the fabric of things. The young person taking care of the old person. I missed that opportunity, that window, like he said, that time. So that's what I mean. Me saying that, oh, I'm focused on that. I could have did both of them at the same time, but it wasn't that. It was a sense of fear or something I didn't know. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to say, oh, I'm doing this when I could have did both. That was the opportunity to hear what he had to say, and that could have changed the fact of time for me right there. That could have moved me. That could have moved me forward a lot faster. So that's what I'm saying. When the opportunities, they come all the time. Are we prepared? Are we ready to receive it? Are we humble enough to say, believe that we can? You know what I'm saying? When I got in real estate, somebody called me on that. And I was going to miss that. I was going to miss that when he called me. I'm like, man, I'm working. I ain't got time. They're like, man, I ain't got time, dog. I got working. I'm doing this. And he kept calling me. I thank God that he did. He kept calling me, and then he sent me pictures of what money he was making, and that's what he told me. So somebody else was telling me about something that I did not know of, and I was afraid. I say, or if I was busy or whatever, but that was an opportunity that was always aware. So I'm saying opportunities all around, but are we aware? The awareness, like you said, are we aware of these things? That's what we need to focus on. Are we? See, we talk about what the white man, what weather, what mom and dad did, everything that under the sun that happened to us. But we never say what opportunity we missed, what we did, what we had opportunity that we missed that caused that. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it's about, preparing. I say preparing for the opportunity. How do we prepare for the opportunity every day that we wake up? Being prepared for what, humbling myself to receive that from them. That's it.
So Keith, let me go back and thanks for sharing that. You asked a question right before the break. What was that question? So I can, because I have my answer
Question
written.
is, I'm young kid, like you said, I'm 57, you 50. We say we want to create, we can create the life what we want now. You know, when you was going through your divorce, when you was sitting there, you had the kids young, did you see the life that you see now? Did you see the things that you see now that you was? Even though when you went through your divorce, you still saw those things. When did you decide those things for you? For me, I didn't see those things. Like me, I had no idea. The life that I'm living right now, I had no idea that I would be. I tell my kids that. I say it was like the roll of a dice for me. You know what I'm saying? I did not have that rolled out and planned out like that. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. So to go backwards, or I'll go answer the one that you just said for me with the divorce and things of that nature. For me, it was like failure wasn't an option for me. It was like I had two sons that I had to provide for. So I had to find a way to make it work. Right. So I had to do by any means necessary of staying within my means, and for a house that was trying to subsidize the income that had left the house, right? Had made a purchase of a car that I probably shouldn't have, but I bought that car to help me heal, right? biggest mistake I ever made, right? Buying a car to help with the healing process instead of just going through it naturally and letting the healing process take its course. Uh, it just I knew I was created for great things, and that setback helped me come back for a major comeback, right? So it was my story was like a testimony for others to that's like, look, just because you're down for like a minute doesn't mean that you got to stay down forever, right? I was always taught that, even raised by like a single mom. I had to make sure that, hey, I may fall down, but get your butt back up. Like I can either wallow in it or I can do something about it, right? So I didn't have a choice. I had to do something about it. The question that you asked was like, how do you get people to understand? And you were giving an example of how you were, telling this person. Sometimes people have poverty mindsets, and you have to lead by a example and being consistent in what you're doing. Even though we may say it so many times, I hear you, and I'll have to agree to disagree on this one, where you say you missed an opportunity when I was telling you about the stocks. I don't think you missed an opportunity, Keith. I think sometimes people have to be ready when they're ready, right? Just because you didn't, because I don't make hasty decisions. I don't make, it's not all about money. We talked about one of your sons, right? Is he money driven? I tried to entice him to do this, to play sports and this and that. He's not money driven. We got to find out what drives him to get the juices flowing to where he wants to put everything in it, right? What's his niche? What does he want to do, right? So for me, I'd be hard pressed to say that you missed it. To be honest, I don't make hasty decisions, right? I overanalyze, I overthink. I like to think about stuff. When someone comes to me, it doesn't mean that I'm not. Sometimes I have to go through a process, and my wife will tell you right now, if we go on a vacation and if she tells me we going somewhere tomorrow, to me, she knows I have a process that I like to go through, that I want to know in a week or two in advance to get my process and my mind going, right? We're creatures of habit, right? So I'd be hard pressed to say that you missed an opportunity, because where you're at now, you're in the stock, right? You did your homework. You paused. I think you're hard on yourself in that moment, and you got to show yourself some mercy and grace. And don't look at it as though you didn't get into it on time. Yeah, you missed some money, right? But guess what? We know about the stock market. It's going to always come back. It's going to come back with compound interest and things of that nature. So this is why I ask you to show yourself some mercy and grace, because with that, you took the time to study. You got into it. Sometimes people may present something to you and you may just, nope, I don't want to do it. That does not, to me, mean that you missed an opportunity. That just meant that you didn't want to do it, or you weren't comfortable, or you weren't ready. People look for us to be an example, and we got to be consistent. The best way that you can be an example for someone else, tell them 1 or 2 times, check on them, continue being consistent, because people are continuing to watch us and watch us and watch us. Like you watched me for years before we even started speaking to each other. I watched you for years before we started speaking to each other. But we watched and we saw and we observed and we learned about each other from that. And there was a mutual respect. And you're like, okay, this guy has been consistent for 10, 15, 20 years.
Mhm.
So,
Can I speak on there?
Go- You were saying something?
On there?
Yeah, I hear you.
All right, let me speak like you said about the 10 to 15 years. The reason that I didn't speak to you, I watched you for 10 to 15, because that's what I was taught.
mhm.
The person I am now wouldn't sit and wait for 15 years to go talk to somebody, because I missed out. Think about the 15 years that I missed out that I didn't come talk to you. What if I would have came and talked to you and said, and you said that I didn't miss out, I did miss out on something. I'm a creature of habit. Something that I was taught, my habit is to watch. I don't trust that. Let me see what this dude about. No, I don't believe that. I'm saying for me, I live this. I know what held me back. Like you said, I didn't miss out. I could have got in stocks. You know, stocks is a time thing. You know, it's compound cycles. It's a math problem. 2 + 2 is 4. If I got 100, you take away 50. It don't matter. Well, you lost 50. You know what I'm saying? So that's true. No, men lie, women lie, but numbers don't lie. And I think, like you say, we want to give grace and mercy and not tell the truth sometimes. I've been saying, for me, I did miss out on that because I know you can't get that time back. You can't get that money. I don't care how I got it now. I got it in. You cannot get that time back. You know you can't get that time back once you put it in. We talking about numbers that make sense. I know we ain't talking about money. I'm talking about in any opportunity in life. You have opportunity. You swing at it. It might come back around again, but you still gonna look back. I could have done this better. I should have done this different. That would have. That by no grace is the truth. I'm saying with me. But me waiting on you 15 years, I should have took 15 years. I should have came because you was a good dude. But my problem was my insecurity, my trust issues made me like, nah, I gotta watch this dude. I don't know. That's different. I I ain't say you wasn't stealing, you wasn't breaking in cars, you wouldn't. Why did I take me that long to watch you when you already showed me your character? You were no type of person. As I go back and look at it, it shouldn't have took you that long. Look what I missed in all that time that I could have got close. Going to church, meeting other people, how you introducing me to now. You know what I'm saying? Going into the Saturday to the church and meeting different people. What if that could have opened up doors to get a job? Because like I said, the guy that I met that changed my life work wise, I met him in like 15 minutes. I cursed him out, and later on we became friends. And he changed my life, gave me a job. So I'm just saying, my ways and way of being was not right. My habit, my environment, the people that I'm used to, I wasn't equipped to be saying, okay, I can create the life I want. For me, I'm just telling the person I was. I can't speak about you, but the person that's out there in the streets that been divorced. I'm not been to jail. No, like I ain't have no had the modeling career and went around there. Nah, I was like been in trouble, kid in the military, stay in trouble. Just always been a fighter. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't have that. So I'm saying the people that like that, to get them to understand, yeah, it is a better way. But the people that came in my life was guys like you, guys like Dustin Ball, several people, man, Vicky Parker, my partner Zeke, he said something to me. Things that people that tell me what I didn't have no understanding, they said a word to me, or they gave me, opened the door for me, and I chose to take it. But the ones that I didn't take, I look back and say, man, I should have took that one. Man, that was an opportunity there. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm open to all. I'm humble. If somebody tell me something, I'm gonna go read it. If somebody say something to me right now, like my partner told me about crypto, I want to go out there and say, I'm about to go read into this and look into this. I'm gonna open this up. I'm gonna open a Coinbase account. I'm gonna put me a few $100s in there. Let me test it. I'm gonna see what they saying now, because I believe it. My mind, we spiritual. I believe in the Most High sent that to me, and I have the opportunity to listen and take advantage of it. That's what I believe now, and I think that's because like I say, your environment. Think about somebody came out a single mother, seen things happen bad to them, been molested, been to jail, been all that. How do they come out? Somebody been in jail 20 years, then it came out and their life changed. Because somebody in that jail, somebody in that thing talked to them, somebody gave something to them. That's what happened to them. Somebody received it, but they humble themselves and say, I'm going to take this. I'm going to take this opportunity. I'm going to listen, and I'm going to do something different. That's what I'm saying for me. I'm sorry I was long-winded, but go ahead.
No, that's all good. That's all good. And what both of you gentlemen have expressed brings me to my point as to what helped someone get in alignment. And that is what we're doing right here every Thursday. Let me just briefly say this. Having this opportunity to hear you all discuss all this knowledge and information that I was just sitting here listening to both of you all. I'm getting, okay, this is just me. This is just extra. Now, what we're saying, what we're talking about is not just between us three. This is an opportunity that we are given every Thursday. That's why I take it so serious. Somebody out there whom we have never met, never will meet, get a chance, Fletcher, to hear and could identify with, I was you. That was me too. And they can also hear part two of the transformation in your life, and they can get it. And they can hear Vincent talk about how he is able to move forward and stop and how he can have a disciplined life, but also they can hear where his life weren't so good when he was going through a divorce. And I fall on that same hill, which is one of the things that really this opportunity of coming on here every Thursday, that same opportunity also inspired me to get out of my comfort zone and get online, even outside of Thursday, and do a show and talk about going through divorce, having a being in a bad relationship, and communicate, because I have to get out of my way to communicate with somebody else who I would never meet. I might be able to help them not give up. That you can get in alignment. You can get to the other side. And just think about it. I named some heavy hitters, people I listen to. I didn't just start listening to those people. For whatever reason, I was feeding myself that type of stuff for a long time, Fletcher will tell you. But yet, now here's the kicker, friends, and somebody else who know what I'm getting ready to say can identify with this. When you know the right things, when you know the right answer, and life to knock you down, that's the hardest ground to get back up and dust yourself off, because you had all that knowledge and information. How you tell that person to get up who know all this stuff? That's hard. But I'm here to tell you, it's not impossible. Life is hard, but it's not impossible. And so that's why we're here. That's why coming on here is important. That's why communicating is important, because if I could tell my story, that I knew all this stuff and life knocked me down, but I didn't stay down. And you too, friends who are listening out there, you're going through some stuff. And this thing we're talking about may seem out of line to you today, but keep listening. Keep listening. Sooner or later, I know your thoughts are all over the place, because in this world we live in, distraction is 24/7. This thing right here is filled with knowledge and information, but it's also loaded with distraction. This thing. But the more if you're tuning in to us every Thursday, and you would peep in on me when I do a show, you could drop in on Fletcher, and then you got Vincent out there, the man coach. He communicated. He's talking to somebody. He's just not doing this on Thursday. I know the brother. I know the quality of personalities we have on this platform. We're passionate about this thing called life, because we've gone through something. And we believe we got some value we can tell somebody. I mean, when you've been kicked, man, you got something you can help somebody with. And they may not hear it, but you know what? What one doesn't hear, when you speak it on a platform like this, somebody is hungry. Somebody hungry. And so for some of you all who out there who are hungry, we on here for you every Thursday, 7:30. And if we're not live, you can always play us back. We on YouTube. Subscribe. Go ahead on, somebody.
Hey, if I could, and thanks for that. Thanks for dropping that nugget in, extraordinary. If I can say, when Keith said it took us a while, it shouldn't have taken him. I'm not just going to put the onus on Keith, because it takes two to tango, right? So Keith kind of holds that as like, well, it shouldn't have taken him that long to kind of reach out and befriend me, right? It takes two to tango. It's a thing called pride and this thing called machos when it comes to men, right? I ain't gonna speak to him. Right? Like there's a code, right? When you're in corporate America, there's like a nod, you what's up? Somebody else passed, you'll be like, how's it going? Right. So there's an invisible code, right? So it takes two to tango. And I think Keith holds on to that. It's like, well, it shouldn't have taken him that long because he missed out. I'll be honest with you. I could have reached out to you, right? I'll give you a little quick story. of a good friend of mine. We did. Gosh, I was going through my divorce, and there's a if y'all are in the church, there's a class called Celebrate Recovery, and it's for people dealing with either whatever addictions, right? Pornography, alcohol, uh, just whatever addiction that they want. Like you can be OCD or whatever that you're fighting and going through, right? So how it was, we would meet in the church, and we would all meet, men and women. But then after we got through with the first speaking, men would go this way, ladies would go this way. So I met a gentleman. Right now, he's a good friend of mine, and we're business partners on certain things that we participate in as far as business ventures. And after the Celebrate Recovery class, uh, we kind of lost touch with each other, right? But he'd always send me an email, say, "Hey, come join this, come join this, come join this, come join this, come participate in that," and I would never go to it. Right? It took me about 5 or 10 years to finally feel comfortable to where I wanted to go and participate. And I told him, I said, you know what? Had we had I started the friendship and been a part of whatever he was doing 5 years ago, prior to that, we may not be the friends that we are today because I wasn't right, or I wasn't at the right place in my life and stage in my life. And that could have damaged us down the road to where we wouldn't have had a friendship, right? So I got to be very mindful and understand like there's a time and a place for people to actually have those alignments, right? And those interventions and those intervenings of meeting points and getting to befriend each other, right? We talk about creating a life to fit your truth, right? And alignment. True story. I've always been fascinated with every culture, right? Keith to tell you, I've dated black, white, Hispanic, not prejudice, right? After my divorce, a couple years afterwards, actually 10 years afterwards, something told me to start taking Spanish, start learning Spanish. Again, did this on my own, right? It just hit my spirit. Again, when you're in tune and when you're attacked with certain things hit you, you can either be obedient or either you can shun it off. So it's something just in my spirit is like, man, let me start learning Spanish. Again, dated Spanish women, had Spanish homeboys, friends, whatever. Learned a large majority of Spanish, probably the curse words and the bad words. Those usually stick first, right? Learn those. And then I ended up meeting my wife, my then, who's Hispanic. Again, didn't know this, was going to meet someone, but I was disciplined and I was obedient and I was listening to their voice that said, you know what, you need to start learning some Spanish. And guess what? I started learning that Spanish, and unbeknownst to me, I ended up marrying a Mexican American female, right? So it's like, again, when you start hearing
That
these
sounds
things,
like they're in alignment.
that's an alignment. Like I had no idea, right? It wasn't like I'm just aiming at like I'm gonna marry me a Mexican lady. No, that
Yeah,
wasn't it.
yeah,
It
yeah.
was like, but I understood the assignment, right? And I was in tune and aligned to where I was doing that, right? So that paid the benefit, and here it is today. So, but again, I go back to you, Keith. It takes two to tango, man. Don't put all that pressure on yourself. Take that 50-pound backpack off. You ain't wearing that
Yeah,
by yourself because I
yeah,
could have come to you and talked to you as well. But based upon what I saw in the beginning with the pick in your head and the tank top and the khakis and the police over there, I'm like, yeah, I ain't fooling with that, brother, right? It took some time, right? It was both of us. We had to fill each other out. That's what we do. That's what men do. We fill each other out to see, okay, where is he at, where I'm at, right? And it took our kids to basically do life together to help us introduce and do life to start actually doing life.
I think that's me, in my opinion. I think it's our environment. I think our culture. You know,
Hmm. Yep.
like I said, white people was always they was talking to me and all that. That's what we say. We say these things about white and colored, but like they didn't see the pig. They didn't see the wife beater. The cursing didn't bother them. You know what I'm saying? They saw the smile. You know what I'm saying? They saw the confidence. They saw all these things that I didn't see. So you know what I'm saying? I think like saying our environment, our culture sometimes we try to get away from it. You know what I'm saying? We trying to, and I get it. I get it. You know what I'm saying? To get away from that, but other people see different things in me. They saw that, so
Good
I never
point.
shied, I never shied away being for who I am, but I was a good person. Like you said, I used to tell my son that. They were like, Daddy, this. I said, man, they don't know me. They don't know me. If they got to know me, they gonna love me. I'm like, this is who I am. You know what I'm saying? It's it. You know, I took me time to grow to be a better person, but in my mind, it was like that. So, like you said, the life, creating the life, it took me a long journey, and now I'm understanding to love the journey. I understanding, like you said, the spiritual to be connected with what comes. Like you said, you started learning Spanish. You know what I'm saying? And yes, you aligned me right there. But it took some journey. It took me a long journey to get there because of my environment, because of how I was raised, because of the way that the people are around. You know what I'm saying? Things that was helped me through the situation I was in, the area I was in. But when I got to that area, or better, up to that alignment, it was like it was hard for me because I didn't I was out like a fish out of water. Like you said, I'm still wearing the pick in my head. I still got the white beat on. I still got the attitude with me. You know what I'm saying? I still got all that with me, but I'm in a different place. And I don't. I'm like a fish out of water. So all I can be is me. So, but the Most High had mercy on me to say, okay, people came to guide me. People came and said, do this instead of that. I see this in you and that. But I had to be humble enough to receive it. So I had to be humble enough to see that they want. Even my wife to tell me that. I used to tell her, I said, baby, when I was at my job, I used to say this. I said, man, them white people trying to fire me. My wife said, what is wrong with you? I'm like, you just don't understand. And we would go to the Christmas party, everybody, hey, she'd hug me. And she like, is these the people you talking about trying to fire you? You know what I'm saying? It was just crazy in my head that I was saying these things. And I look back at it now, I had no clue of what that life was. You know what I'm saying? I had no clue of how this, like I said, I tell my son that where I'm at now, it might not be nothing to nobody else. It might be like, but to me, where I'm at, it doesn't go, it didn't look like this. It didn't supposed to be like this. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. To create that life, you got to really truly believe. You got to really truly deep down and get your mental, get some things straight with you, but you got to believe it. And you got to really sketch it out, and you got to really move forward towards it. Because, like I said, what you're fighting is you're fighting all the things I was talking about. Your environment, somebody told you. You got to take all those things and put them away and keep moving forward. Even go like Ben said, you went through a divorce. That don't mean that's where I'm at right now. But in the future, that's not where I'm going to be at. You know what I'm saying? Those things that life you want is a battle, and you got to continue to improve. So transformation is the evidence of education. So when I was educating, I started educating myself, but it took me to believe first that I can. Then I started putting something inside of me and started educating myself, which made it even stronger, made the belief stronger. You know what I'm saying? Then once I did that, I started seeing it. Now I started trying different things, the real estate. Now I started saying, oh, I can do that. I can do the investment thing. I can do these things. So that's what I'm saying right there, right there. So that was my
Let me also add too, for anybody who's tuning in for the first time, it's not that Fletcher need any of this what I'm getting ready to say, but I just want to say it just for the record. If you all don't know who Keith Fletcher is, tune in to him. He's on Facebook. He go live 2 or 3 times a week. We have a YouTube channel called The Blind Truth. But I'm saying all that because who you hearing tonight, friends, let me tell you, as he said, he's talking about the person he was. And I'm suggesting to you to go and hear him on his platform, and you won't hear that person who he was. The transformation, the growth. You see, we all have a past, but his past, it was something inside of him greater that wouldn't settle. And we have that something inside of us. And that's why you're not satisfied, friends, who you're tuning in. You're tuning in and you're coming back every Thursday because even though you're the same, you're not satisfied. Your soul not satisfied because there's something more. We all have that something more. And see, some of us we get high to kill it. We overdrink to drown it. We overcompensate in a lot of things, and then if you don't do any of that, there's a million and one different distractions, so that you don't have to deal with being in alignment with yourself. And when you do, when you get on the flip side, on the other side, the right side, the best side of why you are here, you'll be able to talk like Fletcher. And I'm trying to grow to that level. That brother can talk, and he could talk for hours and hours. Man, y'all got to tune in and check him out. I kid you not. And he can eat it up. Bam, bam, bam. I was talking to him not very long ago, and he was saying so much stuff. I mean, I'm listening to him. I say, man, I'm gonna have to make a point. I say, I gotta talk about this. We was talking about personalities, relationship, and he pointed out something about low self-esteem. I said, oh man, I gotta bring out that point. And then he talked about something. I said, oh man, I gotta bring out that point. And here's the thing, friends. When you get in alignment, you start everything you do become valuable.
Yeah.
If you go to a store, you will find items and things that it becomes. You realize, you start asking yourself, why do they have all of this in the front of the store? That must be moving. And and you can see you gotta have somebody to bone some of this off on, because you're weird like that. So I end up talking with Fletcher. I say, Fletcher, man, and he'll tell me, say, yeah, man, they got this, they got that going on. And I say, yeah, man, you know what? I noticed they had a whole lot of this in the store. That must be a hot item. So well, guess what? I'm gonna go and Google this stuff up, and I'm gonna start promoting this stuff because it tells me people buying that stuff. Y'all see what I'm saying, friends? You can take advantage. Life presents advantage opportunities to us, and when you get in alignment with yourself, you will start seeing things you never saw before. You'll
Yes.
start saying things you never said before.
Recognize it. Yes.
You'll start going places you've never been before. You will
Yeah.
start enjoying the thoughts in your mind that you never enjoyed before. I'm not joking, man. I'm not joking, lady. And you're not crazy. It's a new life. When you push through and push through and push through and get on the other side, it's another side, and you can get on the other side. Somebody give me an umbrella so I don't get wet.
Now that's true what you said. You start recognizing all these things, like, and I'm gonna go back to Vince. So recognizing Vince, a single guy, when he got divorced, you see most people, they will crumble, and me seeing Vince go through his and holding his head up, he got his boy living with him, he got his house. First off, I'm like, how did he keep his house in this? You hear all these stories, they get divorced, they lose everything, the man becomes a bum, he's sleeping on his mama's sofa. You hear all these things.
Yeah, right.
Documentary,
Yeah, that's true. You hear the worst of it.
Man, you see the worst of it. That's what you out on the news. You the movies. You know what I'm saying? And I'm looking at this man. He ain't lost nothing. I go to him. You kept the house.
That's good, that's good, my brother. That's good, brother.
And I'm seeing him still. Man, I swear. Me and my kids talk about now. He going through a divorce, but you go in his house, it's immaculate. He fussing at Luke, man, you need to clean up, man. God, like, what is he cleaning? it ain't nothing to clean to him, man. Like, but this is what I'm saying. What he's going through, you don't see it. We talking about painting the house. Yeah, keep him paint the house and all this. And I'm saying, hey, he going through a divorce. He went through a divorce. He talking about painting his house. Painting the house. Got the yard still look good. The car still shining. You see what I'm saying? I get to see this.
Yeah.
How a man standing up through all this stuff, he's standing strong. He in the gym. He's still coaching. He's still going to church. Now I ain't seen nothing like that.
Yeah.
So some opportunity you get to see, man. Like I say, like I said, that's why I'm saying it should have took that long because he showed me his character. He showed me who he was way before that. You know what I'm saying? And to go through that and still be that type of person. And he not just saying, like I said, that's why he on here. He not just speaking, just saying it to say it. I've seen this man live like that. How
But
he-
here's the good news. We got us all right here on this platform, and we on every week, giving it to him.
and I'm like, I tell him all the time, he really is this good guy. I be like, nah, I don't hear all that, man. I be telling him like, nah, you just, but he really is this good guy, and he mean that. Coaching, we like I said, we done had arguments about certain things about, and we'll calm down later on. But he really means well, want to help people, and do those things. So man, I got to see it. I got to be. So I'm saying opportunities are always around. Now you choose to take it, or I could have said, man, he ain't all that. Man, he's putting all this and that. No, the dude did. I had to give it to him. You know what I'm saying? And he asked me, I'm like, nah, man, can I talk to your kids? I'm like, man, you ain't got to ask me that. He already showed that to me. So this is what I'm saying. So we can miss opportunities like that and be stuck up and not see it. But I'm glad I got to see that.
Respect. Floyd Vincent, talk to us, brother.
No, I appreciate that, man, Keith, and much love, brother. I think there was an element and a part that Keith did not see when I was going through the divorce because we hadn't drafted his son on the team yet.
Yeah.
So there was a point in time when I was going through the divorce, I had to step away from coaching because I understand the importance of leadership and my mind wasn't in the right alignment, right? Because I was too focused and too hurt and just, battling some stuff. And it was like I had to step away from coaching for about a year because I needed to get back to alignment to where I can be good for these young men. Right. We only get one shot. Right. And again, when you take leadership seriously, like it should be, you understand your assignment and you understand how important it is when you're trying to teach young men and things of that nature. So for me, I had to step back from coaching for about a year because I needed to get right. And they would look at me on the sideline and be like, why aren't you in there? And it's like, I'm just going through some things, right? That's what I would say. I didn't, as Keith knows, I'm a very private individual, right? I didn't let a lot of people in certain parts of at certain parts of my life, I didn't let people in. I'm quick to cut you off, but I don't let you in. Right? If you burn me, I'm gonna burn you back, right? That's just how it was, right? Or it's just, so for me, again, that was a part of the element that Keith didn't see during that time because we weren't as close at that time. We grew like little by little by little by little by little. Our relationship really started turning into a true brotherhood. But there were some point in times where it's like, when you know that you aren't right and you don't need to be around people in certain situations, you got to know when to pull yourself back. But then you also got to know when it's a good time to come back in too.
Yeah.
That's it.
I want to say, like I said, he said I didn't know, but like, again, we was in the gym and I would walk by and like with Vincent, he to himself, you know what I'm saying? And people like, man, what's wrong with that dude, man? I said, hey, man, he is on his own. You know what I'm saying? That's what he do, But that was him. Like I said, he would go in the gym. He would walk by, you won't even know he in the gym. The next door, you see him walking out like, man, what the hell? But that was Vince, you know what I'm saying? That's how he did his thing. But I respected that, you know what I'm saying? I respected he was trying to figure something out. And that's what I'm saying. We got to give people grace and give people understanding.
Yeah.
But I knew that character, that wasn't him. You know what I'm saying? I knew that wasn't him, and I knew that he would come around. But and he did. You know what I'm saying? And I'm glad we got closer. You know what I'm saying? We don't agree with everything. We both agree to disagree. I love having my debates with him because at the end of the day, when I walk away, I'm thinking about what he said. I'm not sitting there saying I'm right. I'm really thinking about why do he think that way? You know what I'm saying? Because I know he cares. You know what I'm saying? And I'm trying to figure out why my brain ain't connected with that one. I don't see what that, but I really try to connect and understand because he means well in what he doing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So And that's what I say. People come in our lives like that all the time. And I want to tell people, that's what I want people to know. I believe in my heart that the Most High use everybody. And you can miss it. You can miss it. Like he said, you denied me 3 times. I came to you. You've been asked. I was telling Stronette, we was talking, and I was telling when I went through my divorce, and I was in jail. And I'm talking about everything. I lost my job. I'm talking about I had a restraining order from my house. I'm talking about everything going on. I'm talking about everything on fire. And I'm in jail. And, I had a lady friend that I was messing with. I was talking to her. And I called her collect in jail. And I'm down. My mama done gave it to me like she always do. Made me feel like I done messed up. It's the end of the world. And I was talking to the girl. And she said, can I ask you a question? I said, yeah, what's up? She said, now you gonna tell me the truth? I said, yeah. She said, did anybody touch you and anybody play with your booty? I said, girl, no. We just started laughing. Like, but it was so funny. But this is what she told me. She said, listen, I got me an apartment, me and my friends, and I'm gonna give you don't have to go back home. You can come stay with me. You know what I'm saying? When you get out, I'm gonna pick you up when you get out. When I got out, she bought a brand new car. She threw the keys to me, put me about $400-500 in my pocket. When I got in the car, she went shopping for me and everything. But the point I'm telling Stronette, I didn't focus on the good. I was still looking at all the stuff that was burning up around me. All the good that she was doing, a place to stay. Most time to put me in a place to stay, feed me, clothe me, and everything. But guess what I was looking at? All the bad, all the other stuff. I couldn't get the job. I lost my job. I love that job. I couldn't go forward looking at all the things. Now the dude is in my house. They got other things looking at my TV. Everything. And I was already comfortable, warm, in the bed, eating good. Nothing. Didn't have to ask for nothing. And I kept focused. So I think that's what we do, man. Good is always around. The opportunity is always there. But we focus on the bad, man. We focus on what happened to us, what this, or why that. And we came to see all these good things that's upon us. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I say, man, be aware. Be aware. Y'all have an open mind. Sometimes you hurt people. You hurt, and you hurt yourself thinking about that. You don't trust nobody, this and that. So try to open your mind to that part, because I missed a lot of opportunities because of that.
Folks, we covered a lot of things tonight in dealing with and talking about this topic about, getting in alignment with yourself. We talked about what does it mean to live your truth? How do you know if I'm living someone else's narrative? We went down and deep into, is it selfish to prioritize your truth over other people's expectation? And what if our truth changes over time? And you hear Keith talked about who he once was to the person he is today. We even talked about how to deal with the changing of our truth in relationship. Vincent and I, who haven't gone through divorce, separation, and all of the stuff that brings. And here we are, friends. We're coming to you all with all of this. A lot of it was mess that, nobody liked mess, but we're bringing it to you now in gift wrap and sharing it with you on a silver platter to let you know it doesn't have to be that way. It doesn't mean it's going to stay that way. Life is just like the seasons. There are 4 seasons, and life also have its trials and tribulation, its ups and its downs. But we, as long as we're breathing, and if we really want, and we are willing, if you want something, Vincent and Fletcher was saying all evening, if you want something, it's amazing. We generally get what we want over time. Then it falls down to the degree, how bad do you want it? You see, we want things in the beginning. If it don't work out, that we may drop it off and we're moving on. But maybe we didn't really want it that bad. But when you want things bad enough, you hang around and stick around. Just like dating. If you want that girl, that young lady want that man, you kind of hang around for a while. You learn what it is you have to take. You learn the techniques, you learn skills. You want to learn a lesson, you want to improve in stocks. Anything we want, if we really want it, then as we want things, then reasons will grow as we want, reasons why we want what we want. And that gives us even more momentum, more energy. And the more you want things, the more you feed yourself of the things you want, then mentally, emotionally, and then you start getting in alignment with the way you think about what you want, and then even the words you say or used to say, it changes to start conforming to this new information that you feed in your brain. New information change your conversation. You used to talk one way, but the more you start filling yourself up with new information, your conversation change.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah, you agree with that?
I
Yes,
do.
sir. Yep.
Yeah, your conversation change, man. And even your way you think change. And eventually you change. And that's all we say. And I went around my long circle. They'll tell you that in my house, man. Just say, hold on, he gonna get there. But I went around a whole circle to get to that point. But it was a very important point. And thank y'all for indulging with me to get to that point because it made some sense. And friends, we down here in we at the end of the show. I enjoyed another one, man. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. Brothers, talk to our audience, please.
I'll say one quick thing, and let me turn my tablet back on. It was something that I've always been told. For me, it was don't let someone else's experience with me dictate how or what you think of me.
Mm,
Find out for yourself and have your own perception.
yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
That's it.
Go ahead on, Fletcher.
Man, I gotta go after that. I was a dude right there.
You're Keith Fletcher.
Ah, yeah, that, I agree with Vince, man. Get to know the person, man. Somebody told me that it's not what they say in front of you; it's what they say behind the closed door.
Mm, mm,
And and when she told me that, you know, again, when somebody tell me something, I try to understand it, and I've been trying to understand it. And it hit me one time, and it was true what she said. But I'm glad she gave it. So a lot of people give things to you, man. Take heed to it. Like I said, I just want you to humble yourself and receive what somebody's giving you, man. Receive it, because I know I was lost. Like, either one of these gentlemen on here, we are different people. We got different situations. We handle things different. We all coming together for one common goal. We want to add value. We want to solve a problem. That's what we want to do. We want to solve a problem. We do not want you to step on the landmines that we stepped on. You know what I'm saying? We want you to improve yourself, to be in a better place in your life, in your journey. So that's what it's all about here on Word on the Streets, to improve you, to help you through whatever situation you're in. You know what I'm saying? Like we say, it's two sides to everything. Two sides of corn, two sides of bread, two sides of everything. It's a choice to choose good or bad. It's a choice to choose lack or abundance. So choose abundance. Choose wisely, man. Choose the right people. Choose the right thing. You don't get to choose your parents, but you get to choose who you want to be. Any second of the day, you can say, I don't want to be that person no more. I want to be this. Nobody dictates that. So that's what I leave you with, man.
Thank y'all so very much for tuning in and being with us tonight. Thank you, Selena. Thank you, Ladiana. Thank you, Mark. Thank all of you all for being in the chat room. But more importantly, I am so honored to be on this platform with the amazing Keith Fletcher and the smooth voice of Vincent Craig. Ladies and gentlemen, I just got to give all of y'all nothing but some love.
And Mac, and don't forget to give the love back to Extraordinaire, the one who puts it all together.
Hey, make it work all together. Connection.
Man, thank you.
He's throwing all of them kids and stuff. He don't want to talk about the kids he's going on.
Hey, hey, folks, we're going to see y'all next Thursday. Thank y'all again for tuning in to World Premiere, Word on the Streets.
And that wraps up another powerful episode of World Premiere Word on the Streets. We're live every Thursday evening at 7:30 Central Standard Time, and we'd love to have you join us again. So take a moment to subscribe, tap that like button, and become part of this growing community. Until next time, guard your thoughts, speak only what you truly want to experience, and stay laser focused on what matters. Your words shape your world, and your mindset fuels your mission. We'll see you again, same time, same place, right here on World Premiere Word on the Streets, where truth meets transformation. Stay strong, stay grounded, and as always, stay true.
What up, fellas?
Yeah.
What's going on? How y'all